Please welcome Gia and DJ Envy. Welcome to The Daily Show.
Thank you for having us.
Your book has caused quite a storm, I'm sure you have noticed. You know, there are not many books about marriages and relationships that get everyone online talking, which I actually think is a good thing. But I want to start with the why. You know, some people write books about how they did what they did in the relationship. It's always one person in the couple. You wrote a book together. It's really intimate. It is also really vulnerable. Tell me why.
Well, for us, like you said, we've been together for 27 years, married almost 21 years.
Wow.
And people constantly come up to us, friends, family, sometimes even people on the street, asking us, how is it that we kept it together? And I don't really like that question, because kept it together kind of gives the impression that you did it somewhat under duress. I think the better question is, 27 years later, why do we still want to be together?
Ooh, I like that.
Because marriage is a choice, but a lot of people don't look at it as a choice. It's like after the honeymoon stage is over, after the big, beautiful wedding, typically around 7 years down the line, it's as though a lot of people feel as though they're trapped there or being held in a vice, and eyes start wandering. But why is it that now we still want to be there? So we wanted to let people know.
It really gets into the nitty-gritty of relationships in a way that, like, you know, you're DJ Envy, you know what I'm saying? And I was surprised by the vulnerability you put in this book, because you even talk about it in the book. There's no denying that hip-hop for a long time has operated in a shroud of bravado.
Correct.
You know, so hip-hop has all been about, I don't even talk about my wife. You don't know if I have my wife. I'm all about the streets. You know, I've got these ladies in the street. It's a feeling. It's an idea.
Yes.
And you've come out as DJ Envy and you're going, no, here are the mistakes I made. Here's how I was insecure as a man. Here's how I could have been a better husband. Was there not a part of you that was worried that the DJ Envy would now basically be you know, losing himself to tell the truth?
I think these are the conversations we need to have. If you think about it, we can go to the barbershop and we talk about our favorite NBA player. We can talk about our favorite sneakers, our favorite music. But sometimes things that are important we need to discuss as well, and that is relationships. I wish I had somebody at the barbershop and say, hey, look, my wife is, me and her arguing about this.
Right.
Am I right? Is she right? What do I do? You know, how do we solve this conversation? How do we get into a situation where we're not right fighting, meaning we're just fighting to win, but we actually want to, you know, get to the same place and have a better, you know, description of whatever we're arguing about? Because at the end of the day, we're on the same team.
Right.
If we're arguing, we shouldn't be arguing I shouldn't be trying to annihilate her. She shouldn't be trying to destroy me in an argument. We should be trying to get to an understanding where we can both understand.
It seems impossible, though. That, like, I mean, the book starts off in honestly one of the most vulnerable places, which I commend you for, because I think a lot of people live in a silo where they think their relationship is terrible and everyone's living great relationships because they're on Instagram,
Yes.
right? And then you read the book and then you go like, oh boy, relationships are tough. People are struggling.
Yes.
Yes.
You talk about infidelity.
Yes.
You know, you talk about, in the beginning of the book, you were a shitty man to her. You talk about this in the book. No, I'm not saying you.
Gosh, Trevor.
No. You talk about being
yes.
controlling. You talk about being like, you know, you were like, Gia, you can't go there. You're gonna go with me here, and you're gonna be in the booth when I'm DJing. You talk about this.
Yeah.
That's a vulnerable place to put yourself in, and it's an honest place. Like, that is an interesting thing to do as a person. I want to know why you thought you need to include that. You didn't keep it vague.
Right.
You were like, here's specifically how I was shitty.
Well, I wanted to talk about what I did to be so shitty.
No,
Trevor.
in a good way. We've all been shitty. Don't judge. We've all been shitty in relationships. You know what I mean?
Gracious. I was a good husband too at one point. Now, but but you know, also I have a 20-year-old. You know,
Yes.
and she goes to NYU, and I wanted to teach her and show her what she should be looking at, right? Because I tell her if she finds a guy like how I was, run.
Wow.
And we wanted. It's not that funny, but I wanted to. But I wanted to also discuss, you know, the change and the evolution and what made me think about it and why I was insecure. I was insecure because I thought she would find somebody smarter, somebody more handsome than me, which would be difficult, but more handsome than me. And I was really at a place where I was like, I can't let her go. If she leaves, she's gonna find somebody else. And it was my own insecurities that almost ruined this relationship, ruined the best thing I've ever had, ruined a relationship with my best friend. We have 6 kids, and I almost lost all of that because I was insecure.
Wow. That's beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing. For real, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really nice, because you see, when we talk about that bravado, take it away from hip hop. because people have been sold the idea of perfect relationships, everyone who thinks they're not in a perfect relationship thinks that they're failing. When in fact, people who are honest go like, oh, this is hard. It is hard to do. You talk about infidelity. You talk about the things that you were going through. Gia, one of the biggest things women will talk about is the embarrassment and shame that comes with being cheated on. They go like, my self-worth has almost been publicly decimated. In the book you share how you found out from a gossip blog that he was having an affair. Now people lie and everything, but that one was true.
Yes.
When you're sharing that, when women are reading that, many women would say the same. They go like, Gia, if a man cheats on me, I'm gone, I'm out. And yet you talk about all of your whys and your hows. What did you learn in that moment, and what do you think people can learn about infidelity in a marriage?
Okay. First of all, Raashaun didn't cheat on me. He cheated on himself.
Oof.
And a lot of women don't look at the situation that way when they're cheated on, and some men. But it takes a tremendous amount of integrity and self-worth to be able to hold yourself to a certain standard when you're in a relationship in and of itself. Furthermore, when you're in the public eye, extend that a little bit more when you're an artist, a DJ, an athlete, or someone in that profession, because like you stated earlier, it's almost expected that you're living this single life where you're popping bottles and in the clubs and have women around you constantly. But for me, it was very important to write the book because I want women to understand that men cheat, and it doesn't necessarily have to be because of you. It is because of them. So I didn't feel embarrassment. People ask me, how is it so easy for you to talk about? He's his own individual. He made a choice. I didn't cheat. There's no embarrassment for me. There's no humiliation for me. I own me, and I have to decide how I'm going to move forward with my head held high. It's very important for women to understand that.
When you talk about it in the book, what I love about this book is it's not a how-to book. I will say that. It's a book that seems like a conversation you are having with anyone who's reading the book. It seems like we've met you as a couple, we get to know you as a reader, we see you talk to each other, you talk to us as individuals. Some of your friends are in the book as well, giving their perspectives from the outside and from the inside. And one thing that was really intriguing to me, Gia, is when you talked about honesty through a different lens. Many people think the only betrayal that can happen in a relationship is one where somebody cheats. That's betrayal. That's the only betrayal. Right. You dropped one of the biggest bombshells in the book and in your relationship when you told your husband you had been faking orgasms for basically a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all didn't find that funny, huh?
Sheesh. But you admitted, you're like, this is also a betrayal, this is a dishonesty.
Absolutely.
Like, so walk me through that as a couple, because we'll talk about the online aspect later. I want to get through that, because I really enjoyed you talking about it with each other. Here you are as a wife going, I lied about this. Here you are as a husband going, my whole world is a lie.
Correct.
Yes. So we've been together since I was 15 and he was 16.
Wow.
And I lost my virginity to him on when I was 16, on our 1-year anniversary. So I was 16, he was 17. I was a virgin, and he was virgin-ish, relatively a virgin. He had tried with somebody else. It didn't really, he had crossed the finish line. So, it was virgin-ish. So, needless to say, we were both very inexperienced, but even during those times, I enjoyed our intimacy. I enjoyed sex, but I didn't know myself what an orgasm was. I came to figure it out, but when you don't understand yourself, how do you communicate your needs to someone else? And the way that most young women are raised in this country, more than likely around the world, it's as though we're subconsciously taught that women are playthings for men.
Right.
When you look at billboards, magazines, ads, television, music videos, anything, you see beautiful women, sexy women, sometimes scantily clad, and you believe that we're here for the pleasure of men. So I prioritized my husband, or my boyfriend before he became my husband, when it came to the bedroom. And my needs came second. And I never communicated that with him. I thought through love. I thought I was catering to his ego and catering to the outcome that obviously any person wants in that
Yes,
type of
yes.
situation. And then when I finally told him, it was years of frustration. We were in an argument and I weaponized it
Did she?
to hurt him.
Did she? I thought I was Mandingo, Big Daddy Long Leg. And then she sits, now, I'm not gonna lie, I would watch porn when I was a teen. And,
Yes.
and porn, you just,
Yes.
and that's what I thought
They
it
didn't
was.
need all of that.
Nah,
Right.
They get it.
And
Yeah.
during that argument, she was like, you know, I haven't had an orgasm. I'm like, oh, really? All right, well, how long? Last week? She was like, no, 10 years. And that looked just like that.
That's painful.
Very.
Yes, yes. And it wasn't that far stretched for me at the time to weaponize something like that, because our relationship at the time, we didn't behave as though we were on the same team. If we argued, it was to win. In the book, we refer to it as right fighting.
Right.
We didn't care about understanding each other, gaining common ground, fixing the problem. We just wanted to win so that we can kind of shrug our shoulder
Yes.
at the other person at the end and maybe tell our friends or whatever. It was with that, that feeling where you just wanted to demean essentially the person that you're with. And
You want to hurt them as much
you
as
want
they
to
hurt you.
hurt them as much, like
Yeah.
they say, hurt people. So that's where I was coming from at the time.
In the sharing of this, and I want people to read the book, so I won't give all of it away because you break it down. You talk about the ramifications. You talk about how it made you feel. And I love that you also say, you don't blame her. You don't go like, I cheated because she did. You go like, no, I now felt insecure. It really is honest. One of the things I noticed online as happens is this has become like it's almost a meme now. You know, people are like, oh, DJ Envy, I'll never let my wife go out and talk like that. Everyone has this bravado.
Right.
Everyone has this bravado. My wife would never talk about me. I do my thing. You know what I mean?
It's fake.
Right, yeah, but you had to have known, especially coming from hip hop, you had to have known that people would respond in that way. I would love to know why you decided that the public ridicule was not enough of a factor to consider, you know, versus you sharing a truth that many couples would love to deny publicly.
For myself, it was like this. I mean, and I'm sure you've been through it. I mean, we've been canceled before. We've been laughed at in jokes, so nothing bothers me. The only thing that bothers me is my family and my kids. Outside of that, I feel like we have a bigger mission. And the conversations that we started with that are through the roof. If I showed you my DMs and my wife's DMs of how many wives hit me or hit my wife and says, I'm going through that same problem, thank you. Now
That's
I can have the
amazing.
conversation with my husband. Now I can have the conversation with my boyfriend because I wasn't getting to that level. He didn't know how to please me, and now it's a conversation, and that's all we want. Now that was when we were 16 and 15, and we figured it out.
Yeah.
We figured out how to be intimate, what makes her this, what makes me that, and our relationship is on a whole nother level. So nobody can really bother me or make me feel any way. I have my wife and my kids. Nobody else really
Those are your
matters,
fans.
honestly.
Those are your
Yeah.
biggest fans.
And
That's
if
all
you're
that matters.
But I make her orgasm now. I just want to put that out there. I make her orgasm now multiple times. I'm not. Just want to put that out there.
Let me ask you this before I let you go, because I could chat to you forever about this, honestly. Before you go, I would love to know two things. One, you had to start a new relationship, you know, which is something you get into in the book, is there was the old relationship and there's definitely a new relationship.
Yes.
People are in relationships all over the world. We always find ourselves in relationships that may be bad, and then now the internet says everything's toxic, but you may not know when it's toxic or when it's bad, when it can be repaired or when it cannot be repaired. Gia, from your side as a woman, what advice would you give to women to try and decipher between working on a thing that can be worked on versus staying in something that they shouldn't be?
Well, first you have to figure out how you actually feel about the other person. For me, when I found out, it didn't matter how I felt. I told him from day one that if he ever cheated on me, that I was out. And I meant it. So I was out, and a lot of work had to be done to get me back in. God was a huge part of it. You'd have to read that in the book. But reparations had to be made.
Wow.
There's a part of the book called the New Deal. So when people ask me how, with the exception of God, the New Deal explains exactly what steps Raashaun needed to take to deserve my forgiveness, to deserve my understanding, and to deserve my grace. And he worked relentlessly to achieve all of those things. And the key for me was until. He was willing to do that work until I was whole again, until we were whole again, until he was able to fill in the holes that he had put throughout our entire relationship. There was no expiration date, because a lot of men will say, listen, I've been apologizing for 2 months. I've been trying to make it up to you. What do you want from me? Blood? Like, what else can I do? That approach is damaging, because you're the offender, I'm the offendee. Now I have to expedite my healing and make you feel good again? No, that's not my job. You broke it. Now you have to fix it. And I wasn't willing to teach him how to do that. He had to figure that out on his own. So all of his efforts, the time invested, the lengths to which he went to, proved to me that he was worthy of the things that he needed to become whole, so that we could become whole again. And it worked. And once I decided to forgive, I didn't look back.
Before you move on from that, though, there's something you said in the book, which is, I feel like a slight semantic, but a powerful one. Because, now you said he had to fix it. But what you said in the book is really interesting, in that he wasn't supposed to fix you. He had to fix him.
Yes.
Correct.
And then you began your journey of fixing you as well.
Exactly.
And I feel like there's a difference there in healing. Especially in the book when you talk about that, there's a difference between you saying you have to fix me versus you have to fix you, and then I am going to fix me as well. So in that fixing, before I let you go, you become new people. You become more honest, which is scary, because the path to honesty is almost the end of the relationship, because you have to start a new one. So in that fixing, what did you have to fix? And then what are the new things you discovered about each other, where you went, oh, in this new relationship, I actually love this person more?
I think honesty, whole honesty. And I had to learn the definition of love, right? We all say, I love you. You say, I love my spouse. I love this person. But do we truly know the definition of love, or do we just say it? And if I love somebody, I don't want to lie to them. I don't want to hurt them. I still get butterflies when I see them. I'll never cheat on them. And I had to understand what love meant. Sometimes we could say, oh, we love them, but we still do this.
Right.
And that's not what I wanted. I wanted my best friend. And if that's my best friend, she's going to be honest with me, and I have to be honest with her. If there's something that bothers me about her, or something that bothers her, we have to be honest. And now we're at a point in our relationship where we're completely honest. And even though I put through a whole bunch of bullish.
You can say bullshit.
Bullshit. It's on the other side, it's 1,000 times better. We are better friends, we are better parents, we are better lovers, we have a better relationship. We're just better as people. And that's due to all the bullshit I put it through.
Man, it's an amazing book, because it's so honest, it's messy, it's imperfect, and I think that's what every relationship is. Thank you so much for joining me on the
Thanks
show.
for having us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. All right, people. Gia and Envy's book, Real Life, Real Love, is available now. And be sure to check out their podcast, The Casey Crew.